Okay, we're talking about how to design a life you love. How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thought? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? Okay, here we go. Unboxing video. Woohoo! Just got this. Excited to show this off. What could it be? All right. Okay, I have been super excited to get this for a while, and I think you're going to be interested in this as well, because I have a free gift for you. So, if I can figure out how to break into this. Make sure it'll stay nice. And, oh, we got bubble wrap. Sweet. And there we go. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Check that out. All right. This is a special offer that I have for people that check out a web class that I do on how to relieve stress, and this is how to get fully aligned. Let me share with you something I am super excited about. Anyway, you're gonna love this because I am giving it to you free. Actually, I should back up. I'm not exactly sure when you're going to be watching this, but if you're watching this relatively soon on YouTube, you are going to see my free offer for a free planner, and I hope you go for it. Anyway, if you watch this later and this is no longer available, sorry. If you're watching it soon, make sure you check the show notes down below so that you can see this. But anyway, this is something so cool. Okay, so let me back up. I used to live by default. I mean, yeah, I was doing what I could to create a life that I wanted and that I desired, but really I wasn't very conscious. I wasn't very aware of my choices. I'd get up in the morning. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. I'd get up in the morning and the first thing I'd do is I'd check my email, on my smartphone. And I'd see what new things came in. And often, right from the get-go, I was derailed. Whatever I had planned to do that day, I had bad news or something that has come up that now is going to take me off in a new direction, one that I had not planned. I didn't realize that I was self-sabotaging, is probably a little too strong of a term for it, but I was certainly not living by design. I was living by default. I was living reactionary. Whatever happened in those first few moments of the day determined how my day went, and often it wasn't very good. At that time, I was very stressed out at work. I don't know if you can relate to that. I hated my job. I hated myself for being in that job and not having the courage to go find something different. And I was sure that that's what was standing between me and happiness. I thought if I could just change this one thing, if I could just find a new job, then I'd be happy and then I'd be successful and everything would work out great. It was a lie, it was a myth, it was not true, but it was something that I told myself over and over again. Anyway, I was not living by design. I was reactionary, I was frustrated, I was angry. I was so focused on everything that I didn't have in my life that I became very volatile. Again, you'll probably hear this story in some of my other videos and you may be familiar with it. You may be experiencing the same thing. I don't know. But if you find yourself complaining all the time, noticing all the bad stuff going on, just being obsessed, that's how I was, obsessed with the things that I was missing in my life, the things that I was lacking. I'd wake up every morning focused on my problems, on all these things that I wanted to change. And I was having a miserable, horrible time. And I was working as hard as I could to change my life, and yet I didn't know how to do that. In the last, I guess about 9 months, I have been following a system for myself that has totally transformed me. And what it is it is a consistent daily pattern, ritual, habit that I have gotten into that helps me get fully aligned with who I want to be, with who I am, I believe in my core, who I want to be, and then I make sure that my actions match that. I follow this simple morning routine that has helped out, and it has been transformational. A big thing is that I have been able to change my belief system. Excuse me. I've been able to change my belief system about myself, about who I saw myself as, about my self-worth, my self-identity, my personal identity has changed according to the person that I want to. Again, this is how to live by design, not default. And for a long time, I wanted to change. I wanted to be this new person, but I was having a hard time doing it because even though I would focus on who I wanted to be, my subconscious mind would just reaffirm, yeah, but that's not you, Scott. That's not where you're at now. What you're saying and your affirmations and other things is not lining up with who you say you are. And so I would be stuck in these repeated fail patterns, and it was so frustrating, and I couldn't get out of it until I started doing this consistent pattern. Every morning I would follow the same pattern, and I would follow this simple morning routine that has helped me take control of my mindset, take control, focus and really become conscious and aware of who I am, who I believe I am, who I want to be, how I was fallen into these rabbit holes of negative thinking that just was not serving me well. Anyway, just a variety of things it has really brought clarity and understanding to me. It's helped me understand what my purpose is. It has helped me recognize, rekindle my passion because I feel that I am making daily progress in meaningful work that is meaningful to me. And it has been fabulous. Okay, now the reason that I am excited to share this with you today is because I do have a special offer. If you're watching this recently, then it's available for you. Make sure you click the show notes down below and look for the free planner link, and you'll be able to get that. If you're watching it later and that link is no longer in there, I'm sorry. Hopefully I have something else that will help you, anyway, you won't get it for free. But for those who tune in soon, who check that out, who follow up, who take action, and who want to find the success to be the person that they want to be, to get that enlightenment and that wholeness that comes from really being in alignment with who you truly are. So anyway, that's a little bit of a teaser. Let me show you what this is now. Woohoo! Just got these. This is the Align Purpose Pad. Now, my goal is I've got a big planner system that I'm working on right now. But for right now, I have this Align Purpose Pad, and what it is, you can see here. Let me show you. It is a day, and you just tear them off, and it gives you your morning routine. I don't know if you can see that. Gives you your morning routine. It helps you focus on what your core values are. It helps you focus on 3 things that are going right in your life. Has some positive psychology in there. It has purpose statements that you do. And it has a simple morning routine that has variance that will put you in power, in control of your day, because you will be living by design rather than by default. So if you are watching this relatively soon, make sure you check out those show notes, because I am giving this away for free right now, which I think is just going to be an amazing thing. I'm excited to share what I have learned that hopefully will help you and hopefully will help others. Because here's the deal. The problem that we experience, we try to change, right? But our subconscious mind just keeps knocking us back to the curb because it tells us, yeah, that's not you. And no matter what we try to put into our mind, when we are out of alignment, when our thoughts don't match up with our core values, which don't match up with our words, which don't match up with our daily actions, there's incongruity. And so we have this inner battle, and we find ourselves, do you have that inner chatter, the negative chatter that just keeps beating you down, and you realize it's coming from you, and your worst enemy is actually yourself? Okay, that's what this will help you with. That's where I was at, just really struggling with that until I found a way to totally get in alignment with myself. So one of my favorite things about this is it has a little system in here where it has you list what your top life priorities are. Actually, let me back up. Let me explain one thing. There's a Harvard study. You can Google it if you want. It is called the progress principle. So Google Harvard progress principle and you'll find information on this. Anyway, they did a 15-year study and they found that the people who were happiest, who were most successful, most fulfilled, were people who made daily progress in meaningful work or consistent progress in meaningful work. What does that mean? Does that mean that they were out saving babies, that they were working in orphanages, that they were curing cancer or something like that? No, not necessarily. What it means is they found something that was meaningful to them and they made daily consistent progress. That study was transformative for me when I realized that that's what I had started to do with this morning routine by listing out. Anyway, I'm just so excited. I'm kind of flipping over my words and stuff, tripping over them. But once you get in alignment with what your core values are, it makes a huge difference. So in this purpose pad, and if you don't get this, you can just make this daily habit yourself. I mean, you absolutely don't need this. But right here, it says to list what your top life priorities are. And I would always list family as my top priority, and I have for years. If anybody would ask me what my top priority was, I'd say it's absolutely my family. Although I'm an entrepreneur, and so the way that I was living my life actually never proved that that was true. I would get up in the morning like 4:15. I'd work. I'd have breakfast, and I'd work, and I'd often work through lunch, and I'd just be slaving away, and I felt like a victim of being an entrepreneur, a victim of my circumstances and my inabilities and all of this stuff. And I'd work up until dinner time, and then my wife would have some nice food, and I'd come out here and I'd have my phone there with me just in case I got a call or a text or an email. I could jump right back into it. And that's how I was living my life. And maybe you can relate. Maybe you have said, okay, this is most important to me, but yet you don't live it. You don't do things each day to show that that is actually your top priority. Well, for me, when I started to change, when I started to not only write down what my top priorities were, but then right next to it, it says, what will you do today to prove they are priorities? That is amazing. So if you have just one action for your top 3 priorities, one action, one thing that you're going to do today to prove to yourself, to them, to others, to God in the universe, to whoever, that those are indeed your top priorities, and then you do them, that's a big key there, and then you do them, suddenly you are going to feel these swellings of self-confidence, and you are going to realize that you are living in alignment with who you want to be. Once you start doing that, you're going to start training your subconscious mind that this is who you are, this is what you're about, and your life is going to be able to change. Anyway, that's just one aspect of it. Super excited about it. To check it out, again, just go to the show notes, and there's a link there. I have some video training, a web class for you to join on how to get rid of stress, anxiety, and worry. And if you pay attention to that, you show that you're invested, then I do have this free offer of the Align Purpose Pad. Super excited about this. I hope you get it. But really, the main principle is if you want to have a fulfilling life, if you want to have a meaningful life, take time to be conscious. Take time to get aware of who you are, what you're about, what's most important to you. And when you start to do that, then that's the first step. And then the next thing is to then do actions, daily consistent actions that prove that you are living in harmony with your core values. Oh, baby, that's when the magic really starts to happen. So if you are looking to create harmony, alignment in your life, that's the secret to do it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Super excited about this. Again, thank you for joining me on this YouTube series, Are We Novice Gods? What that is about is I have come to find out that we are more creative. We have more power within us than I ever imagined. And I didn't realize that I was creating all of the trouble in my life. The things that I was manifesting were because of my personal, how would you say it? My thoughts about myself, my self-image, my confidence levels, and then the actions that came out of those poor belief systems, and also the limiting belief mindsets that I was stuck in. Those held me back. But I started to realize that there's more going on in our lives than we think. And I think we are children of God. I think we actually have His creative powers, and that we create the abundance and also the problems in our life. And if we can get more conscious and aware as to what we are doing, we can use these powers that we have within us to create, to design, to live the kind of lives that we want to live. How is it we can do some amazing and unexplainable things? Join me as I look at the evidences that show we have untapped godlike power within us. Click subscribe to catch more episodes, or ring the bell and get notified when a new video comes out.